Now, I talked about this topic a little bit in the past. I had mentioned it previously on a live recently, where we had talked about what Drake will do to prevent Kendrick Lamar's performance in Toronto in his tour that he's going to. He's going to have 2 days in Toronto. We had conversations on this channel about Schoolboy Q and the incident that happened with Schoolboy Q. At one point in time in Schoolboy Q's tour, he was supposed to go to Toronto. I believe the place or the venue that they were supposed to go to has an association with Drake in some type of shape or form. But nevertheless, Schoolboy Q says Canadian police canceled his Toronto show because of the Kendrick and Drake feud. Now, this is all because Schoolboy Q is close with Kendrick Lamar. He also appeared in the Not Like Us music video. He also had stated how Top was just with Wayne and Baby. Party Next Door just had a show at the Palladium, which I believe is California. Correct me in the comments. If we wanted to get y'all, we would have just did it. Now, when somebody get hurt, don't cry. They just canceled my show in Toronto. Canadian police don't want nobody from TDE performing. Actually, I get it. Never mind. This shit low-key hilarious. I don't know why Dot put me in that effing video. Canceled is all I could think about. So this is Schoolboy Q basically addressing and speaking his frustrations online about his tour getting canceled because of this beef. A lot of people at this time, including his manager, who I talked about it, I believe his name is TDE King, had also said a couple things. And everybody felt like it had something to do with something than just the police being worried about the feud. A lot of people thought that it could have just been Drake doing this. A lot of people thought, and that's why Schoolboy Q had talked about his relationship, Top's relationship with Wayne and Baby. Party Next Door is still doing shows in Cali. I don't see what's the problem with me pulling up to Toronto. This is Schoolboy Q basically hinting towards the fact that this might be in regards to the beef. It might be in regards to Drake and potentially, allegedly, canceling the show. We'll keep it alleged. But going back to what Charlemagne is saying, Charlemagne had said, Charlemagne the God thinks it's a bad idea for Kendrick Lamar to perform in Toronto during his Grand National Tour. Drake has proven that he is willing to let his white side flourish in ways he can't even understand. I guess this is Charlemagne's way of saying that he's going to sue. I don't think it's a good idea, he said, of Kendrick performing in Toronto. The reason I don't think it's a good idea because Drake has proven that he is willing to let his white side flourish in ways that he can't understand. I wouldn't go into a country where this guy is so beloved. He said, it ain't got nothing to do with the street shit. He the type of dude that what I'm seeing now, they'll put something in these guys' luggage or some shit like that, or detain them for some dumb shit. Now saying that they're gonna put something in his luggage, like spike his luggage with something that he's probably not supposed to have on the flight, or do something like cancel the show, do something like cancel the concert, or say that the police don't want to have him here because it's going to start. There might be a lot of things that could happen in regards to this. Like I said, Schoolboy Q, it happened with Schoolboy Q. They said it was a feud between the beef that they didn't want Schoolboy Q to perform. There was another TDE artist by the name of Sir. His tour was canceled in Toronto as well. His show was canceled in Toronto. Charlemagne is thinking, in somehow, in some shape or form, whether it be dirty or clean, Drake is going to try to prevent Kendrick from performing in Toronto. I had talked about this on the live. I feel like if he could do it to Schoolboy Q, he could attempt to at least do it to Kendrick Lamar. Now, I know Kendrick Lamar is performing at stadiums. It's a little bit different. The venue might be a little bit bigger. It might be more people going, might be more money, might be better for the economy. If there's people going to the shows, spending money, parking, all that, bro. Parking, concession, food, all whatever you think of, hotels, all that, whatever you can think of that helps boost the economy when an artist shows up. We talked about it when we talked about Taylor Swift going to Toronto. When people go to Toronto for shows, it actually helps the city because people are spending money to be there. People are spending money to see an artist. So a lot of people are saying that they don't think that it would happen because Toronto would prefer Kendrick being there to support the city financially. But at the same time, a lot of people think that Drake doesn't care and that he'll do anything it takes to get Kendrick not to perform at Toronto. But like I said, this is a different situation. This is a bigger situation at hand. This is Kendrick Lamar going to Toronto. I know for sure if Drake somehow, some way, allegedly mess with Schoolboy Q's tour, then I know for sure he's going to do everything that he can to mess with Kendrick Lamar's tour. A lot of people were disagreeing. Some people were agreeing that he might attempt to do something in some type of shape or form. But it's up for debate, I guess, at this point. Y'all can tell me how y'all feel about this in the comments. But I do know that Kendrick doubling down and making another stop in Toronto. He was only supposed to do one day, one show in Toronto, and added a second day. So that alone is enough for Drake to think about doing something to stop at least one of these shows, or at least to stop the first one. Because Kendrick adding another day is just like a slap in the face to Drake. I mean, realistically, it might not seem like a big deal, but it is when it comes to this beef. You have Kendrick Lamar pulling up to Toronto, doing back-to-back shows Yeah, I think Drake is going to do everything in his power to prevent this from happening. At least one of the shows, if not both. But you could tell me, like I said in the comments, do you feel like Drake is going to be able to prevent anything? Do you feel like Drake could do what he did to Schoolboy Q? Do you feel like Drake could do what he did to Sir? Can he do this to Kendrick Lamar? Is he able to do this to Kendrick Lamar? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen. But there is questions and conversations, and this is just one of the many few other people in the media outlets that are going to talk about it. Charlemagne is the first one to speak on it. I know that we had spoke about this on the channel as well when we were talking about the tours and when we were going over the tour dates. If it could happen to Schoolboy Q, I don't see why Drake wouldn't try to attempt to do anything. I don't see why Drake wouldn't attempt to try to stop it when it comes to Kendrick Lamar. But y'all tell me how y'all feel. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Peace. We'll keep it a legend.